1962 was the year that Denise was born. The Cuban Missile Crisis had reached its peak. Most Americans were distracted by new President John F. Kennedy, the Beatles' first single release, James Bond's first theatrical release, and the popular Beverly Hillbillies TV show. But for people of color around the globe, their only distraction was the harsh conditions of not being treated equally. Denise's birth felt like a meeting with destiny. The year that Denise was born, Nelson Mandela was arrested. And 4 days after Denise's birth, the United Nations condemned South Africa for its apartheid policies. This little girl, raised in Wilson, North Carolina, was on a journey that she couldn't stop even if she wanted to. Wilson, North Carolina was known primarily as a tobacco town, and although the population is now 47% African American, it had its fair share of racism like any other southern town. Although Denise was amongst the first generation to attend a mixed school, Denise quickly learned that her skin color had a different meaning when one of her white classmates casually called her a nigger. When Denise found out the meaning of the word, she gave the girl a warning to never say it again or there would be a physical price to pay. The little girl cried and told her teacher, causing Denise to get into trouble.
You know, for the average African American adult, being called the N-word can bring out generations of anger. But to a child like Denise, it can make you feel like you're less than human. And if you express your anger, you can get into trouble.
Some people believe that everyone receives a seed in their life, and if watered correctly, the seed will turn into a guiding passion. For Denise Newton, the Creator gave her 2 powerful seeds. As a small child, Denise loved to read the encyclopedia. She was exposed to African culture simply because Africa began with the letter A. She was fascinated with their clothing, style, and skin color. Even as a teen, Denise told friends that one day she would journey to this beautiful continent. Another life-changing moment for Denise took place while she was in the 8th grade, when she had the opportunity to see Roots. Roots was a rare TV series that explained the horrors of slavery from beginning to end. It had an impact on all of America, but especially young Denise Newton, because for the first time in her life, she could feel her ancestors calling.
What's your name?
Kunta. Lord God help that boy.
Reading the encyclopedia and watching Roots planted seeds in the spirit of Denise to hopefully connect her to her ancestors in order to help them. From the moment Denise graduated high school, she faced racism, sexism, school systems breaking down, all the while trying to raise 2 beautiful children. But despite all of the pressure, she could feel her ancestors calling her to speak for them. You're watching the Greatness 5 channel, documentaries covering history, music, sports, entertainment, and culture. Subscribe now. In 2011, Denise was hosting a radio show when by chance she was able to connect with Gertrude Machi, who was looking for a few volunteers that would help her Africa Alive Foundation, dedicated to helping the people of Zimbabwe with water, food, and other supplies. Denise immediately jumped at the opportunity to help the people of Zimbabwe. On the plane ride over, Denise felt the spirit and the pain of her long-lost ancestors. And by returning to Africa, Denise believed she was able to represent every ancestor who was captured and brought to America, believing they would never see Africa again.
What's your name? Kunta.
As soon as Denise arrived, she was approached by airport security. The security guard looked at Denise and said, "Welcome home, sister." His words made Denise feel special, like the little girl who was fascinated with Africa. From the moment Denise arrived, everything was strange, and yet it was all familiar. From the food, to the music, to the smell of the air, to the Mandela House, and to the plethora of animals that she was able to see. Despite her comfort, Denise could feel the motherland had a few lessons for her to learn before she returned to America. When Denise arrived at the local school, she saw poor kids jammed into a classroom, and yet each had an incredible desire to learn. Beginning their day by singing a welcoming song, "Jesus is Good." She was saddened that kids in America, rich or poor, did not have the same desire to learn. Throughout her stay, Denise witnessed women carrying small children, while balancing a basket of food or water on their heads. Denise was witnessing the patience and determination of a living queen. When Denise first arrived to bond with the children, she noticed this one little girl in the crowd. This little girl mimicked every move Denise made. It was as if the child saw Denise as royalty. When it was time to leave, Denise wanted to know the child's name. Denise discovered the child's name was Blessing. At that moment, Denise knew what this trip was all about. Flying back to America, Denise felt partially fulfilled, because she had connected with her ancestors' spirits, but also detached because she was leaving this new place called home.
Hang on to the world as it spins around.
The little girl from Wilson, North Carolina had answered the call of the ancestors. Will she ever go back? Yes, when Africa calls.
Keep on walking tall. Hold your head up high. Lay your dreams right up to the sky. Sing your great song. And you keep growing, growing on. Take it from me, someday we'll know be free. Hey, just wait and see. Someday we'll all be free. Yeah. Take it from me. Someday we'll all be free. It won't be long. Take it from me. Someday we'll all be free.